Hi and welcome. This is Patti Roney with Living Life in Awe, and welcome to You Matter. Today we're talking about relationships. You matter in relationships. And I want to just remind you that because you are unique, you have unique gifts, talents, you have unique friends, you have a unique family. You are given all sorts of people in your lives that are different than the people that I'm given. And so I want you to start to see today, as we're looking at how you matter in relationships, I want you to look at your relationships as a treasure chest. Okay, now, I know not all of your relationships maybe deserve to be called a treasure. In your mind, you're like, oh my gosh, no. I mean, they're such a pain. No, we're going to look at all your relationships as a treasure chest. And we're going to realize that you have an opportunity to feed in to the hearts and souls and minds of all the people that are in your sphere of influence, whether they are in your family, whether they're your friends. Now I want you to think further than that. I want you to think about the people that are just out on the outer surfaces of, or the outskirts of your relationships. So maybe they're just the people in town that are the banker, the person who does the dry cleaning, the person at the grocery store. You don't know their name, they don't know yours, or maybe they do, but they're not close friends. They're just there, right? And I want you to think also about relationships that are in your past. Now, I don't care if you're 20 or 80. I want you to think about, who did you go to school with? Who did you graduate with? Who did you work for in your first jobs? Who did you work with? Who did you join in social events? So maybe you're an athlete. Maybe they were athletes that were on your team. And they might be in your past. And even though this is the world of social media, you've still lost them. Or you may have found them over social media. They're in your friend group. You've said, wow, hi, great to have you. It's been 30 years, whatever it's been for you. But have you invested in that relationship at all? See, you matter because something about you is genuinely different than anyone else in the world. And your friends are your friends, or were your friends, because there was something about your relationship that bonded you to each other. Now, you could have had fallouts and breakups and, girlfriend, boyfriend, all sorts of things. That's still not the point. The point is that as we look at you matter, we ask ourselves, each one of us, how could I have been more positive? How could I today make a positive impact on another person? How could I invest in my sphere of influence? How could I invest in creating happier people or making someone else just feel good today? Do you know how great it feels if someone contacts you, texts you, messages, maybe an email, and says, I have been thinking about you. It has been, 5 years since I've seen you. Are you doing okay? Do you realize how much that matters to each person? There is no one on the earth that doesn't want to be loved, that doesn't want to be remembered, that doesn't want to be known. We all do. Everyone wants to know that they are cared about by someone, anyone, or 1,000 people. I want us to think about bonding. I want us to think, when you're thinking about the subject of you matter, we need to think about bonding. How long has it been since you put yourself out there? Like, you go to work, you've got your job, you've got your family, but think about true bonding. How long has it been since you bonded with the people in your own family? When you actually had a conversation. Zoom is like amazing for that. Think about how cool Zoom is. Think about, it's FaceTime on steroids, honestly, because you are able to see each other. You're able to relax in front of your computer, and you're able to really sit down and have a heart-to-heart chat. If you're long distance, if you're not able to just be with a person, it's so bonding. It's also a way for us to listen. Okay, if we're going to invest in relationships, and if we're going to actually, I want you to think of this. Think of your value, wherever you think that is, on a scale of 0 to 10. Some of you are doing pretty good. Some of you are like, man, Patti, I'm rocking it. I mean, I have been investing in people, and I've been doing business with people, and I've been helping people. I've been in ministry with people. I am rocking it. I am at a 10 on impact, okay? Others of you are going to go, yikes. Impact? Nope, not so much. I just sort of live my life. I'm sort of there. I do my job. I hope I do a great job. I hope people value the job that I do, but you might be saying to yourself, I don't even know if my family values me. I don't even know if my boss values me. I don't know if my peers value me. And you know what that does to you? Woo! That puts you down, 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 so that we have such a low value of ourselves that we are thinking we can't make an impact. You see, there's a difference between having a lot of pride and arrogance and throwing our weight around to being incredibly depressed and discouraged because we're of no value. Woo! That's a big, far difference, right? Let's meet in the middle. Let's get healthy. Let's get healthy. Because you matter, because you are created by the hands of God, whether you know him or not. He created you, and he gave you innate value. He gave you skills and talents, and he gave you gifts, and he gave you things that you were really good at. He gave you a reason for people to enjoy you and like you, and he gave you a way to be able to give back something of great value. As long as you think you're a 0 on that value chart, then, or a 1 or a 2 or a 3 or a 4, then what's going to happen is you're going to do nothing to invest in others. You're going to do nothing to bond with people, because you're going to say to yourself, why would they want to be my friend? Why would they even want to be around me? I have nothing to offer. And therefore you have nothing to offer, because we become what we think. And so let's look more from the eyes of the creation, and you matter, okay? You are of great value. No one else in the world has ever been made like you. Not exactly. Not exactly. So if we take that and we move up and start to say, okay, hold on. I might not think much of myself, and maybe I don't think anyone around me thinks much of myself. But Patti says I matter. And she says that God says I matter. So you begin to think a little healthier about yourself. So try to step up just a little. You don't have to step up into pride and arrogance and be off the charts at a 15. That's not the point. The point is to become healthy. The point is to start to look at your value as a responsibility. Why? Why would I put more burden on you? Because you're here to help change the world. That's why. You're here to make an impact, a positive impact, not a negative impact, a positive impact. No one was placed here to make a negative impact. We might choose that direction, but no one was placed on this earth to make a negative impact. You were gifted to be important in someone else's life. And no matter how much you've, in your mind, messed it up to this point, this is a new day. Today, right now, you and me, we're right here, and it's a new day. And it's a day that you can begin to invest in relationships, bond with people. Now, I'm going to give you a couple hints that will help you tremendously. See, the other human beings are in a mess too. We all think a lot the same. And so sometimes the person up here at the 15 of pride and arrogance feels as rotten about themselves as the person down at a 0. They just show it differently. The 0 person that thinks they're of 0 benefit to the world, they just don't do anything. What do they have to give? The person that's up at the 15, pride and arrogance, beating their chest and saying, I've got everything to offer, they're still feeling like they don't have much. They just put on a different mindset and attitude so that they can convince themselves that they are of value. Neither are healthy. Neither are going to give you a life lived in awe. Right in the middle, at about that 6, we can start to feel a little bit healthy. Like, okay, hold on. And I'm going to say, you're going to see a course on purpose very soon. And I would take that if I were you, because that's going to help you. But I would tell you to start to write down things that you know that you're a little bit gifted in, a little bit good at, a little bit skilled in. Because when you start to develop those like a flower growing, then you're going to go to that treasure chest of beautiful people, beautiful sphere of influence, and you're going to suddenly see a few things that you could give to a relationship. Okay? Now, don't expect retribution. Don't expect a person to act like they like you or to be grateful to you the way you're hoping they're going to be grateful. Maybe you say something kind and they don't say something kind back. Maybe you send a gratitude letter and they don't send one back. Maybe you forgive someone and they don't even know you had anything against them, and you tell them, I forgive you, and that creates a battle. I mean, we're all people. With all the messiness of the creation, we are all people. And we all have all sorts of the same baggage and hang-ups. So the point of you matter in building relationships is to kind of get rid of the mud, get rid of the dirt, get rid of all of that, kind of give our relationships a shower and see if we can rebuild them or build new ones or invest in the ones we have. And I mean, invest the best of you. Have you ever attempted to invest the best of you? You know, one reason that most people don't invest the best of them? No time. No time. We just don't have time to spend to develop. If you wrote down on a goal sheet for this year of your life, I want to invest in 10 new friends, you would freak out. You would go, I don't have time. I don't have time for 10 new friends. I don't have time to invest. I don't have time to invest in 2 new friends. Well, today's a new day. Today's a day. I'm not talking about spending 4 hours a day with all of your new friends, but I am saying that you have value. This is about you mattering, but guess what? So do they. They have value. And as you start to invest in that relationship, the value will also eventually begin to come back to you. And if you are trying to invest in relationships with people that are grouchy, angry, blaming, always just negative, then maybe pick a different relationship to invest in. Because the whole point of this exercise of You Matter is to help you make a difference in the world. To help you realize you've got to step up into a seat in the number 6, I think I matter, or 7 or 8 or 9, I think I matter. Whoa, I think I matter. Now you have something to give. Now you start to receive back things that are of great value in your life in relationships. You see, bonding, loving, caring being generous, giving to invest in people's lives has a huge ripple effect of great value to you. Great value to other people, because that's where we're starting. We're not starting with what do you want out of this? Don't start there. We have to start with what can I give? And I want you sitting up here in the 6 or 7 or 8 in the value side of yourself, not because you're worthy of something. You're not entitled. I don't want to make you entitled. That's a horrible thing for me to do. I want you to realize God's plan for you is for you to use the value that He placed inside of you to give to the rest of the world. And I'm starting with relationships because that's where it all breaks down. In Living Life in Awe, we focus on relationships, family and parenting, business, health, fitness, and faith. We're working on mindset, habits, and skills. In the You Matter course, we're working on helping you find your place. You see, I can't help you to do great things until you have found some value in yourself. And when you found that, you're going to reflect that to others, not in the beating of your chest and the number 15 pride and arrogance person, but also not in the 0 down here, doing nothing for anyone because of the way you look at yourself. I need you to take a seat at the table. I need you to take a seat at the table at a 6 or 7 or 8 where we've got a healthy look at the value that God has made in you. And that will begin to help us to reach out. It will keep us from being so scared and so down on ourselves that we can't reach out to others. And then when we reach out, I want us to reach out in good, what you want to call it, words, good attitude, good vibes. I want you to withhold anything that you're thinking or that you've said in the past that's negative, because that is not going to benefit them or you. You're trying to invest. You're trying to invest in relationships. You're trying to bond. You're trying to be of value. That's the point. And then it's really fun because people want to be loved. And so make a list. Make a list of everyone you've ever met in your entire life that comes to your mind as you're doing this exercise. And I want you to be genuine. Don't lie. Don't just be full of false flattery. Don't do that. You don't want that done to you. Don't do it to anyone else. But I want you to find something good about the other person. I want you to, when it comes up at Aunt Jane, I want you to look at Aunt Jane from the value perspective that Aunt Jane matters. And I want you to find one thing. If there's not 10, then find one thing that you really treasure about Aunt Jane. And I want you to send that text, that message, that email. And I want you to tell Aunt Jane, you were on my mind today, because she was, or you wouldn't have written her name down, right? She wouldn't be the person of choice right now. And so you send a message to Aunt Jane and say, you know what, Aunt Jane, I have never forgotten some of the experiences we had when I was a little girl or a young man. Aunt Jane, thank you. You were just such a hoot, or you were so kind, or you were so generous, or you showed me so many fun things. Thank you for teaching me this or teaching me that. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being kind to me. Come up with one thing. And when you get up in the morning, if you live with your family, if you are blessed enough to have your family surrounding you, and you get up in the morning, I want you to make that a whole exercise in itself, that when you hit the ground, you place a smile on your face, an attitude of gratitude, and a love shelter for the rest of the family. Because however you present yourself to them and however you embrace them is how they will come back towards you. So I want you to be the person who not only realizes that you matter, but I want you to start to realize that so do they, all the people around you. Thank you for joining me. I'll be back with more from Patti Roney, Living Life in Awe. This is You Matter.